Hello all, this is Mtowerianto, and I'm making this video to respond to Sean M. PWH and his video that says that there's proof that Christians are more tolerant than atheists. And he brings up that the taxes that Christians pay that goes to secular schools and to make sure that a courthouse doesn't display any religious symbols or any references to a religion automatically makes them tolerant. That's not tolerance because it's the law to pay the tax. All I have to pay the taxes, and if I don't agree with the law, that's saying that I'm tolerant against towards people who believe that marijuana should be illegal. That's not exactly true. I still pay the taxes because I would not like to go to jail. As far as the schools and stuff, what I'm gonna try to prove is that Sean MPWH took about it the wrong way because he attacked a secular object rather than an atheist object, because he is attacking schools that cannot perform religious Christmas or holiday plays, or he's attacking, and specifically Alabama, when they had the Ten Commandments in the courtroom and the government was forced to have them remove it, much against the people's will, and the majority, because the majority of the people are Christians anyway. It would be tolerant to be Christian and say, okay, we'll remove them because we understand that there are people that don't want them there. And because it's what tolerance should be is to know that you disagree with something, but respectfully make sure that you don't violate any sort of moral standard. I'm trying to think of the words to describe this because it's very hard to say how intolerable it is to argue that we're intolerable for wanting to have the rules from a book that we don't believe in out of a courtroom that we might have to go to in order to be tried if we were to be arrested. What I'm trying to think is, if you are tolerant enough, then you should have every sort of religion, anything sort of quotations in a courtroom. And what I mean is, I would be tolerant of the Ten Commandments being in a courtroom if Quran quotes were put in the courtroom, if if laws from the actual laws of America are put upon the laws of the courtroom. If that happens, then fine. I'll be tolerant enough to have the Ten Commandments there because you're putting everyone else's rules there as well. What a courtroom should be is it shouldn't have to put laws up because the laws are already established. That's what the judge is supposed to be. He's supposed to be the man to rule whether or not the people that enter that courtroom as the defendant are violating those laws or not. In the church, the laws are already established in the Bible. That's why you might see quotations, but that's just for decoration. You don't see them as sort of something you enter. Because if you read the Bible, you've already understood the laws of Christianity anyway. As far as schools go, I'm tolerant enough if they were to have a Bible study course in my school, as long as it was optional to take it. The thing about it is that we try to make it so that it's secular, so that I'm not going somewhere that I'm forced to go to, where they're making me feel uncomfortable by displaying things I don't agree with. That would be if they made Christians go to a school where all they did was display Jewish symbols and quotations, or Islamic symbols and quotations, or stuff like that. Because I'm sure that if the school that your child is going to is doing that, that you'd want to switch them to either a more secular school where their child would be accepted more equally, or a Christian school where they're going to be teaching the things that you want them to learn. And that's fine. What I'm trying to say is that, it doesn't mean that if I don't want the Ten Commandments to be in a courtroom that I'm not tolerant of Christianity. That's ridiculous. I don't want it to be there because I want to, as soon as I enter the courtroom, I want to know that that courtroom is fair. That no matter if I were to be an atheist and enter in there, and if I were to be a Christian and enter in there, that it wouldn't matter. If you display and if you display signs of Christianity, if you were to put the Star of David up there, it it defeats the purpose of being fair. It defeats the purpose of seeming to be secular, and that's what the definition is. You're labeling secular buildings and ideas as atheist because they're not displaying the cross. Now, as far as tax, like I said before, as far as taxes go, you shouldn't be the one to say that, oh, we're paying taxes and, they're going to atheist schools, so we should rebel. If that's true, then I'm going to not pay my taxes because my governor or my representative quoted the Bible as a reason he put a law up. That's ridiculous. What you have to understand is that there are plenty of atheists who are upset at the politicians that run our country because of the fact that they're more motivated by religion than anything else. We're the ones who usually should be claiming taxation without representation, because as another video stated, there are some states that do not allow atheists to hold a position of office, which is unconstitutional for one, and secondly, is the most intolerable thing you can get, is because that's saying if you believe in something, you're obviously not fit to run. You're not fit enough to run a state or a town than someone who believes that Jesus redeemed our sins by being crucified. It's ridiculous like that. And the last point I want to make is something very important. The last point I want to make is that if you are a Christian, or if you are Jewish, if you are Muslim, if you are any sort of religion, if you belong to any sort of religion, then it is almost impossible to be more tolerant than an atheist. Because an atheist, yes, are there some atheists that are anti-theist and are intolerable if someone does believe in a religion? Yes, they are, but there are some atheists out there who call them dickheads. That's the reason why there's sort of sects of atheism, where there are some that try to embrace religion as well, but keep their positions strong in atheism, and there are others that try to, say that religion is dumb and should be outlawed and is the scourge of our nation. What I'm trying to say is that if you're a part of religion, you can't be more tolerant because of the fact that if you are more tolerant, then you're not following the laws of your religion. In religion, let's say this, if a Christian were to be tolerant of the gays getting married, then probably a lot of people would say that they're not being a good Christian. Now, what is that trying to say? If they're trying to be as tolerant as an atheist or more tolerant than an atheist, then automatically they're being a bad Christian or a bad person of religion, because their religion says that you can't do that. You can't be tolerant towards this certain sect of people, because in our religion, that act that they are committing is wrong and will send them to hell. So, if you're trying to say that there's proof that Christians are more tolerant than atheists, then first of all, you're wrong, because you're confusing atheism with secularism, and second of all, you're being more intolerant than I am, because you're saying that we're being intolerant, while you may go out and say that other people are are the scourge of our nation. It's ridiculous to think that I'm basically saying that I don't want courtrooms to have to show upon me any sort of religion I disagree with, but if the gays get married, then that's suddenly a bad thing. I'm Atara Anto. I hope I got my view across. Have a good day.